Tonight, our Verify team is tackling your questions about vaccine passports. Governor Abbott says he is banning them in Texas.
Yeah, but is that legal? Investigative reporter Cheryl Mercedes verifies.
Government should not require any Texan to show proof of vaccination.
Governor Abbott's executive order prohibits government-mandated vaccine passports in Texas. It applies to government agencies and entities that benefit from taxpayer dollars. And asked the Verify team, can Governor Abbott really declare vaccine passports illegal in the state of Texas? We have two sources for this. Lindsay Wiley, a law professor and director of health law and policy at American University, Washington, and Seth Chandler, a University of Houston law professor who specializes in constitutional law. The governor issued a disaster proclamation on March 13, 2020. Every month, he's renewed the declaration, which gives him the power to issue executive orders like this one. But will it hold up?
This is unprecedented. We don't know. It's possible that it'll be challenged in court. In the order itself, he references privacy considerations, and that's important because he's relying on a statute that gives him authority to manage a disaster.
That statute Wiley is referring to is the Disaster Act of 1975, which allows the governor to suspend provisions of any regulatory statute prescribing the procedures for conduct of state business in coping with a disaster.
The premise of the governor's order is individual freedom. No one should force you to get vaccinated. And I can kind of understand that. But if you believe in private freedom, you also ought to believe that private businesses have freedom. And the way the free market would work this out is a business would make a choice. Do I want to require a vaccination passport or not?
But whether or not the governor's ban is illegal, our sources say that remains to be seen. Governors of several states, including Florida, have banned vaccine passports. The Biden administration has repeatedly said it won't impose those laws at the federal level. With your Verify, I'm Cheryl Mercedes.
And if you have something you want us to look into, go ahead, reach out to us. Email us at verify@khou.com.
All right.